soul yellow. Yes, sir. Is your skin, oh yeah, your skin goes turning to something beautiful. You know I love you so. You know I love you so. I swam across.
Was I appreciate the Coldplay reference and the
Sorry.
beginning. I wish I had been on top and said, "Oh, we got a couple right there," and you could have done the whole diving and hiding and all that stuff at the same time.
Oh,
Best
that
happened
was
is
Got my
things that's
phone
good.
and all kinds of stuff. What I will do for a joke.
that.
All
that
right.
was-
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the Political Deep Dive. I'm Dave Valente, joined this week by Joe Solosky. How you doing, Joe?
I'm right here. Good to see
You're
all
right
of you.
there. You are right there. Ari Gabrick, how you doing?
Peachy.
Awesome. And Dan the Man Fishman.
With you as always
That
is
is right.
Dan. That's my. I just rewatched Wayne's World.
Doxidan.
Garth has Doxidan. Yes, I'm ready to dox some people. I'm about to dox Ari actually.
Do you remember those ads back in the 80s, Doxidan?
I don't.
Oh my God. The
What was
Ballad
it?
of a Gentle Laxative.
Really?
What? I don't remember
Doxidan
at all.
Never heard of it.
was a laxative that would advertise, and there was like this country guy. He's like, when I'm
Oh,
a
yeah?
regular, here's what I do. I take
has now
Doxidan
become-
because it works when I expect it to. Yeah, it was the Ballad of a Gentle Laxative.
Never
That's
remember that.
amazing. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Craig. Hey, Janice. Thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate seeing you, and looking forward to your contributions this evening as well. So this week is a free for all. Basically, whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about. I think the big story this week. We're still living in the blast radius of the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Trump has
that is
said that
not
they're gonna
being
release
let
stuff.
go at all. They're
No.
just not let. It's not going away.
And we
It's
can't
getting
let it
worse.
go away.
Somebody
have
made
to
a somebody made a comparison that Trump is like a bad comic who's bombing, and he's like, well, what about this? And he's like bringing up his greatest hits, and he talks about the Washington Redskins, Commanders, whatever you
Yeah, I
want to
saw
call them
that.
today. He's talking
And the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, the Guardians. Just like, why are you focusing on this when we could be focusing on this? Stop talking about Epstein. Like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
Well, and
Generally, Washington's attention span is that of a gnat.
I wonder if in many ways Jeffrey Epstein is Ukraine's Monica Lewinsky, because when the Lewinsky scandal broke, Clinton started bombing.
No, that was Serbia. That was Serbia.
No, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah, that was
now the
Serbia.
correlation is that so it helped out Croatia. Croatia still celebrates the day that the Monica Lewinsky revelations came out, because that was when the U.S. got involved in the war against Serbia.
And you know what?
Yes.
Well, Bosnia Herzegovina.
Yeah, but the person I feel the worst about that whole thing, and yeah, she did a dumb thing, but she was 24 years old. But Monica Lewinsky, like ever since that, has been like salt of the earth person.
Yeah.
Such
I
a nice
mean,
person.
I think that sometimes we learn real humility, and that wisens the soul.
Sure,
I
but
mean, she did say that she was going to the White House to get her presidential knee pads. And while I believe that there is no consensual relationship between a 22-year-old woman and the most powerful man on the planet, uh,
she definitely went in eyes wide open.
exactly. She went in eyes wide open. It was incumbent upon Bill Clinton to be the adult in the room, a
Yeah, the
task which,
married man in the room.
yeah, well, a task which he was very much not suited for.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, we're going to find out more about
Hey,
him
Carol.
when the Epstein things come out as well. But fundamentally, uh, I think that the Epstein thing, there's so many people who know so much stuff. And, you know, I had forgotten about the woman who, quote unquote, committed suicide, Geoffrey.
Jufrey. Yeah.
Virginia Joffrey. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that she had said, if I ever die and they say it was suicide, it wasn't suicide, they killed me. Um,
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it's crazy. So I listen to, so I tend to like, my way to assimilate everything now is to have YouTube trending news play in the background while I'm gaming or whatever. I'm replaying Black Mesa, by the way. Or actually, I'm playing Black Mesa, which is the reimagining of the original Half-Life. It's fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. On sale right now on Steam as well. Um, but so I got to hear Ben Shapiro's defense of Trump and Epstein. And he said, I want to list all the facts. And essentially, he
I
said,
want to list all the facts.
yeah, he said, here's the thing. And he's like, and he lists everything.
Get a bucket of mop for that wet ass pussy.
And he said, the only way that you think that there was something here would be to say that you think that Trump
Hey,
and
Heidi.
Bondi and Vance are all lying. He's like, and if you think that, that's okay. But be honest. Hey, I don't know anybody who's not saying that. Right? I mean, that's what people believe. They believe that, there is, and it's not that Bondi is lying to protect herself, but that Cult has this loyalty requirement around him that if you are at all disloyal, he will crush you. Right?
Well, I mean, that is the definition of a cult. That is one of the features of a cult is that any resistance to the leader
Right.
is blasphemy. I mean, it is punishable by whatever
Right.
I
Case in
mean, you think
point,
about Jim Jones, they
Shun.
killed people.
Yeah,
right,
shunning.
exactly. You
It's
think you
it's
think
it's
about
beyond just shunning. This is we are going to destroy you. We're going to destroy your life. And hey, Heidi, like we were talking about you last week.
Yeah.
and they sent people to kill the apostate Mike Pence, who dared to go
Yeah.
against Trump. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't want the Epstein thing to go away. I don't want people to minimize it as when what comes out, and we know that what's going to come out is going to be a sanitized version.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want people to minimize that, nor to think that that's all there is, because there is so much more.
I
Absolutely.
mean, he did publicly push for the Department of Justice to release, the courts to release the grand jury testimony in the case. And, I don't know what would be in there that would specifically implicate other people, like it would implicate anything that was to do with Jeffrey Epstein, but I don't know if the list would be there.
No, I don't think it is, and
And
that's
I
why
think
I'm
that's why
saying
they're
that
pushing. Yeah, that's why they're
exactly.
pushing.
That this first thing is sort of throwing a bone while they can do more damage recovery, but I don't think that they can kill everybody who knows the list.
Yeah.
I'm sure Trump, when he
But
hears that, says, "Hold my beer," but there is a large group of people.
But it's me again. We talked about it last week. It's mutually assured destruction. The people that know who's on the list are on the list, And if you start talking about the list, then you're going to get implicated. That's what that's what Trump did the about face. I mean, you talked about it last week. Trump did the about face because let's say he does release the list and then, his name is not on there. Anybody else who's on the list that is on there that saw him there will be the first to step up to mics and say, I saw Donald Trump there.
And
In
let's
fact, we're
mention,
actually seeing some stories out now, like the girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein said that there was a party that girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, who knows what
Yeah.
that whole linkage was, but said that there was a party that only Epstein and Trump were at with a bunch of young girls. Like, there are stories starting to come out.
Yeah.
I did see something this week where somebody said, if we just believed women, we wouldn't need the list. Um, if we believed Virginia Giuffre and any of
Right.
these other girls that
So
have come
many
out
others.
and talked about who was, their customers, Prince Andrew, all these other folks, we
Right.
wouldn't need the list, but we, in the with our current criminal justice system as it is,
Well,
we
right.
need we need the list.
That's one of
Well,
the craziest things about it is that, they're saying, oh, well, there's no, and Shapiro talked about this. He's saying, there's no allegations of anybody, of any third party people. I'm like, Prince Andrew settled,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
Yeah.
he settled without an admission of guilt, but that's sort of the nature of
that's
how
because
those things
mom
always
made him
go.
do that.
Right.
Mom,
the most dangerous person in all of this right now is Ghislaine Maxwell. She has nothing to lose.
But
She's
but she's also completely cornered. Like, if she says, I want to talk to BBC or talk to
Yeah.
CBS or NBC, you can bet your damn dollar that she is gonna suffer an accident, fall on the
Well, yeah.
soap, or get stabbed 85
Well,
times and
think
commit
about it.
suicide.
She's already said she wants to discuss this in front of Congress. I mean, sounds like she's willing to take the chance again because she has nothing to lose.
I-
They bump
well-
her off. What the hell? She's going to be in her 70s if she ever gets to finish her term.
I mean,
AJ,
look,
it-
Heidi, I'm loyal
it-
to you. I'm loyal to you, Heidi,
I
and
mean,
you too, Carol.
it's interesting to think, Epstein's autopsy showed death by hanging, right? Well, because the guys who broke into his cell hung him. I kind of want to think if there isn't some way that, like, you could somehow make Maxwell feel safe enough to talk.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
I
That
don't
would be
know if
like,
that's going to be I don't know if that's going to be possible here in the United States. Like,
No,
I
maybe
don't
not in the
know
United States.
if there's going to be any way, shape, or form that she can end up keeping herself protected.
I don't think she's as
Like,
safe anywhere. I mean, you got Prince Andrew. I'm sure there are other foreign leaders that took part in this. So, I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
is she safe anywhere?
what do you wanna bet that there's at least some, and this is just my crackpot hypothesis, somebody from the Saudi royal family.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
absolutely. And you just brought up Prince Andrew. Wouldn't that be interesting if he's sitting back saying, "I've already lost so much. I may as well just go on BBC. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to
We-
talk."
I would actually, semi
We said that last
rehabilitate
week. We
Hmm?
said
Did he?
that that's his way to make to get back into the good
Rehabilitate,
graces,
yeah.
is to say, you know what, this is the thing I have to do, blah, 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 blah. And he's a guy who has real security around him already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, on the other hand,
He is royal security.
exactly.
It's a shame, though, that the minor that he was with has taken her own life. That is truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Like,
the thing. I mean, this needs to come out so that those people can get some sort of safety. Once this is out of the bag, I think a lot of the issues with their safety is going to be mitigated because now we know who did it, we know who was involved, and then there really isn't a reason to off somebody outside of maybe protecting themselves from civil judgments. But I actually no, not really, because one, did it take part on the island, which is offshore? It'll be what is that? British Virgin Island territory, so it'll be under British
I'm
law.
not sure where it is.
I think it's British Virgin Islands is where
Okay.
Epstein Island was.
I think it is. I think maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, so there. I don't know what British law is on statute of limitations when it comes to sexual assault. United States, it is.
I think that what you would have to do is you would have to break the. You'd have to make a deal with British police, essentially saying, in return for your complete testimony, we will give you immunity from this because it's important enough to break the crime, so that we can also get Richard Branson and trying to think who else I don't like in England.
Was Branson in on this too? I didn't.
I'm just throwing out names here.
Oh, okay.
Names are powerful.
Branson was a virgin.
Nice. And actually, we know for a fact that Branson has his own island, Necker Island.
He does,
where they host a big conference. Our friend Lars was there a couple months ago.
Not the Fire Festival.
Not the Fire Fest. Necker Island. But that leads to another big topic, and I do want to keep harping on Epstein a little bit, but I think we should talk Colbert a little bit.
Oh yeah. So CBS signs basically capitulate on a lawsuit by the Trump. And
so
Stephen Colbert criticizes it, and the next day they're like, "Well, we're going to fire Stephen Colbert. We're going to because the show is apparently hemorrhaging money." Suspicious timing.
It is suspicious timing. However, the medium is mostly dead.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Joe and I are old enough to remember when CBS and ABC didn't have late night talk shows. ABC had Nightline, and
I remember Nightline,
right, with Ted Koppel. Yep, and
NBC had Carson for decades.
NBC had Carson, and then Letterman behind Carson.
Yeah,
and then actually they had what's his name from the Tomorrow Show? I can't think of his name. The legend, Tom Schneider.
Tom Schneider,
Tom Schneider.
Yeah, behind
forgot about
behind Letterman, and then of course, we all. I bet the kids have no idea, but there was a deal where Letterman was supposed to take over from Carson, and instead they gave the job to Jay Leno, and Letterman went to CBS and was number one in his time slot until Hugh Grant picked up a prostitute in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And Hugh Grant, who was dating Elizabeth Hurley at the time.
He
appeared. Well, that's exactly what happened, is that he appeared on Leno to sort of publicly apologize. And Leno said, "What the hell were you thinking?" In Leno's way. And then Leno was number one ever. So Colbert is number one in the late night slot in terms of ratings.
The article I saw said that the annual cost of the show is about $100 million.
Right, that's the problem.
They're not they get like 220,000 viewers, and the Nielsen ratings are 220,000 viewers in that 18 to 24 age time slot, which is kind of your core demographic for late night viewers. Us old folks are in bed because we got to go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
So you need to have the 18 to 24, and you're just not getting it anymore because there's so many options now. Most people are streaming. Most people are doing other things. 18 to 24-year-olds, you're probably at the bar. You're the
streaming
money that they're bringing in is not enough to sustain it. But I don't know that canceling the show. I think what I would have done with Stephen Colbert is say, hey, we got to cut back in your staff. Like, you don't need 100 people on your staff.
Right. We're going to cut the budget to your show.
Yes.
To the point that it's profitable. So, you guys are going to make whatever you bring in.
And 2 years from now, if you're still hemorrhaging cash, even if it's a lower rate that you're hemorrhaging, then you can make that case. But right now, with the CBS
Right.
lawsuit where the Trump lawsuit and everything,
Mm.
it really stinks.
I mean, it does, no question about it. On the other hand, to be in a place where you know your show is hemorrhaging money, and your owner, the company, just had to pay a lawsuit against the president for. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was for, but
I think it was the Russia stuff. It was a 60 minutes thing, I believe.
right, you're right. It's some 60-minute story that they agreed to settle rather than fight.
Yeah.
And Colbert said, he's like, we shouldn't have settled because we know that it's true. And so he's hurting the case that CBS just made, right? Whether they settled and sort of, admitted. Oh, right. That was it. Brandy has it right. It's that they edited the Kamala Harris interview to make her look good. That's what the issue was. And it would be interesting to have seen the whole thing. I would have
Sure.
liked to have seen it to come to court. Did they do that?
Well,
Chances are probably they probably
A little
did.
bit, yeah.
well,
Yeah.
think about this. I mean,
That's
it's
not,
CB
but that's not illegal. That's not illegal.
That's true too.
But you
It-
can sue for anything. If you put
Exactly.
enough pressure on somebody, you can sue for anything.
Right.
Okay,
Like
so
like Fox News does this all the time with
Well, and they
Trump.
got hit with that massive Dominion
Yeah, they paid $767 million.
Bill
Yeah,
O'Reilly got shit canned, and yeah, it
yeah,
was like,
and then there were a few more. Like they almost paid out $1 billion in settlements.
Right. Diebold.
um,
Yeah, I think that, but so for sure, there are two thoughts that I want to say. One, Colbert is not the only talk show host who've been laid off.
no,
Right.
no.
All of MSNBC
and he
essentially.
will reconstitute himself. I think we all
Oh, yeah.
realize he will.
Well,
He'll do a podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
he'll do a podcast, and the interesting thing will be to see what will he be like. Because right now, everybody's got a podcast. It used to be that everybody had a podcast, but now everybody has a podcast.
Yeah,
And
but
the
you got to be on one of
quality-
the good ones, like this one. Yes, this
This one
where
is
you
good.
wanna be.
But, like,
exactly.
Which one?
Ours is the best.
I've been listening to Dana Carvey and David Spade's podcast recently,
Okay.
and that's excellent. The one that I always recommend, Richard Osman and Marina Hyde. Amy Poehler's Good Hang,
Oh.
just burst onto the scene. So good.
She's a hoot.
And then, I can't help it. Rogan's fantastic. He's controversial.
I have
but
never watched him to this day.
Who?
let me send you one, Joe,
Rogan.
that is just
Oh.
amazing. He had one where he had a sleep doctor on and they talk about how little we know about sleep and how much it affects your health. And then techniques to improve your sleep, stuff like that. But then one of the things he talks about is like, daylight savings time. It's like we have proof because every year we change the clocks. Heart attacks go up by 30% in the week following daylight savings time because everybody has to go up. Car accidents go up by 45%.
What does that tell you? We need to switch to daylight savings time and leave it there.
Right.
There, done.
Right.
So-
But
Leave the time alone. Leave Brittany alone.
Leave Brittany alone for sure. There's other things that he talks about though, like for example, the school day. The idea that we expect school kids to be in school at 7:30 in the morning in some places, is crazy.
Absolutely.
The data on that one specifically, like most kids are at their peak for learning early afternoon.
Really?
Like,
That's interesting. I
yeah.
would have guessed like 10:30 in the morning, but
Well,
you're saying like 1:30, huh?
The 12, 1:30, yeah. Like
I mean, I was always
that's
napping at that point. Sleeping
like,
back in class.
well,
Depending
it's
on class.
one of my friends teaches at school in Japan, and yeah, they start early, but they have a break in the middle of the day, and it's not just a small one. Like they give these kids a pretty long lunch break, and they allow kids to be able to actually like recuperate in the middle of the day instead of having to scarf down food in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
Smart move.
I mean, we should probably do another episode on education
Sleep.
reform because we've talked about it. Like I've been a big advocate of us moving more towards like a Finnish educational system. They've
yeah,
constantly
they have a
been
very
rated
good
one of
system.
the best systems in the world, and
Yes.
they don't make kids go to school like at the age of 5. Their
Mm.
schooling starts from the age 7 to about 15, and then it's kind of like that European system where they kind of shuffle them off into different types of schools, whether it's a
Well,
trade school or a university
Yeah.
education,
mm,
or at least university prep education.
I do think
Um,
as we see AI get much more involved in the educational process, you're going to see huge changes, both in results, but also in how we educate people.
oh yeah, I mean, our education system is still stuck in this, you know,
German model.
yeah, it's the German model really built towards, industrial manufacturing type life. We are well beyond that, and we need to start.
And let's just also say our education system is based on the idea that everybody should go to college as well,
yeah,
which
that's a shame.
is
Now,
a bunch of
that being
bullshit.
said, I'm going to interject something here just for fun.
No.
We've been talking about late night shows,
Yep.
and I'm going to move to a piece of trivia here. I'm from the Pittsburgh area all my life, and growing up, we had this great show on late at night around 11:30 called Chiller Theater. A guy named Bill Cardill was the host, and they would show horror movies late at night to try
Those
to
old B movies.
yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
Blob and stuff like that.
We
That
had
was
shock
Monos.
theater.
that was
Monos
so
back
We had
popular.
we had Doctor Who.
Okay, so it's now 1975, 1976, and this new show on NBC, which is where Chiller Theater was locally, this new show came on called Saturday Night
Saturday
Live.
Night Live, yeah.
And Saturday Night Live was on every channel, every NBC channel nationwide at 11:30 at night till what, 1 in the morning,
Yep.
except one market, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would not do it because Chiller Theater was so damn popular. And I think after 2 years, NBC finally said, "Look, you're gonna air us now, or we're going elsewhere." And they caved, and Chiller Theater got moved to 1 a.m., and it was never the same. But that's a neat little piece of trivia I wanted to share, just because it's very, very Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we
Last
had
NBC
shock
affiliate.
theater in
Ah,
Greensboro, yeah.
neat.
You know, I also remember like late night horror movies because they're I don't remember, but I can remember my first sleepover over at a friend's house, and I never liked scary movies. Like
Me too.
I'm not a
I
big
was
fan neither.
I was
I,
well, I
I
had
I like scary movies.
I had two traumatic events as a child. I can remember when we lived in Albany. This was a long time ago. I watched an episode of Bugs Bunny that is based on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and
Oh
how
Yes,
God,
Bug
yes.
I
changes
Oh,
know
that
that
one
back and forth.
show.
was that the one with the big furry
Red
like beast
thing.
dude?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
and that scared the crap out of me at like 4 years old.
Now,
And then just a little bit later, I saw the a commercial for The Exorcist on television,
Oh,
oh,
and
I
it
got a
has the
story.
crab walk.
yeah.
That scared me,
Yeah.
and I had nightmares. And it not just didn't just change my life; it changed the life of all the Fishman siblings,
Okay.
because television was then banned. All the kids from then on were only allowed to watch 2 hours of television a week,
Oh my God.
not counting Sesame Street, Electric Company,
You're
that sort of
funny.
stuff.
You
So,
know,
The
yeah,
Exorcist.
when I lived in St.
I'm
Louis,
going to interrupt you here. I apologize, but this is too good. So, Dan, I'm a senior in high school, right? And The Exorcist has come out, and I asked out this girl Bridget for a date,
Wow.
and we went to the drive-in, and unfortunately, what were they showing?
Friday Night Videos.
The Exorcist. Am
Wow.
I Mr. Romance or what? So it didn't go well at all.
Oh, I'll beat you on the worst first date
Go
movie
for
ever.
it.
Schindler's List.
Oh, but you didn't. No,
Wow.
you
so
didn't.
okay, so we wanted to go to the movies,
Yeah.
and the town that I lived in, Portales, New Mexico, had a movie theater with a
Yes.
movie,
Yeah.
and that was the movie.
I
And
assume
I
you've
just
seen this.
remember we were coming
any
home from that
choices.
movie, and we didn't say a damn word to each other. We were just like,
I assume you've seen the Seinfeld episode.
no.
No.
So
what?
there's a Seinfeld episode where Jerry and Elaine, this is while they're dating on the show, and they're not able to really like find time together. And Jerry's parents are visiting, and so his parents keep telling him, "You've got to go see Schindler's List. You've got to go see Schindler's List." And so Jerry and Elaine are like, "You know what? We're gonna go." But then they just make out the whole time during the movie.
No. No.
And his parents ask about it. What do you think? Like, well, you know, we were in the back row. We were kind of occupied. They're like, you were fooling around during.
Oh my God.
Yeah, crazy
Oh,
crazy
my
episode of
God.
Seinfeld.
The episode
Yeah, I mean,
where Elaine's dancing, and she's
Yeah.
just, you know the one.
I do know that one.
hilarious.
but yeah,
I
that was the worst date. So that theater was actually, I never really had a good date coming out of the theater, because then I was dating this girl who was like really, really straight laced, and we went to see that Dave Chappelle movie,
Half Baked.
Half Baked,
Jim Brewer.
and I'm sitting in there, and they're like token in that movie, and I'm like going,
Yeah.
just right along with them, and I'm like, and she keeps looking at me like, what is he doing? So I didn't see her again either.
Dave, you're my hero.
but hey, now you have somebody very lovely that you spend your
Yeah.
life with.
Yes.
That's right. I mean, thank God the Portales movie theater didn't work out.
Chuck could be right. I could be misremembering it. Could have been Uncle Leo, and maybe it wasn't Elaine. But whatever it was, Seinfeld makes out in the during
So
this list.
here's another. We talked about the lawsuit for CBS, but early in the week there's the story that Trump sent Jeffrey Epstein a card for his 50th birthday, where he doodled a naked woman on it, and Trump has viciously reacted to this, and he sued the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch for $10 billion.
Yeah.
And
I mean, here's the thing.
And he says, I've never
ridiculous.
doodled anything. And there's like all these pictures of, mainly they're like skyline pictures and things like that. But
everybody,
there are doodles of everything.
There's this one person who ended up posting a picture of a Trump doodle, literally signed by him, with one of his little official cards going, "You bought something from Trump."
You got ripped off.
And it was framed with like gold all over it, and it was just like,
I mean, true Trump fashion.
this is the internet. The internet never forgets, ever.
But
anything.
he's betting on his supporters having having amnesia, like that they're like that.
Yeah.
What was that Sandra Bullock show where they're all blind and stuff? That's essentially what he's thinking that his supporters are.
There's
I mean, there are
he has drawings that are in drawings that are in galleries.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Now, I mean, his initial quote was, "I've never drawn pictures of women." And then he's posted on Truth Social, "I don't draw pictures."
Yeah.
I don't know that there are any pictures of women, but here's the thing. This is something that should be able to be resolved immediately. Immediately. And
release
if the Wall
the
Street Journal, release the drawing.
Yeah.
The Wall Street Journal, here's the thing. The fact that they haven't released the drawing yet
doesn't
makes me
help.
very suspicious.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
I mean, if you actually had the drawing and you said that Trump made this drawing and then he sued you, wouldn't you just show it?
It depends. I mean, I think if the lawyer says, we're not going to make any more statements of this while this is being resolved, like they
already made a
legal case.
They already made a statement saying they have it.
Yeah.
They can't hurt themselves anymore by releasing the drawing. Oh, and apparently you can see it on Streampu Live.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Yay for Twitch bots.
Streampu.
Thanks, white numeral Wick 2J4R1N.
I know them. I know them personally.
Set height.
Yes, exactly.
Omaha.
Omaha, same thing.
Anyway,
Boy.
yeah. So I mean, we're now looking at this with I think Trump is going to sue anybody who comes up with anything remotely plausible.
Well, hopefully some people will take that.
He did. He did doodle
Time he does
hurricane
it.
warning path. Give him that Sharpie. Give him that Sharpie,
Exactly.
baby.
Exactly. And
Exactly.
right, I think that he doodled no, I'm not going to say that.
I know exactly where you're going with that.
Exactly. But I like the fact that
Get
the
some
audience
stuff
knows
in
that
the
if I've
foot.
censored myself, it was pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, the Wall Street Journal does need to come out and just release this at this point in time. And I'm looking forward to the Rupert Murdoch Donald Trump fight, just like I'm enjoying the MAGA Trump fight. And
This is gonna be like I'm bringing out all of my gourmet popcorn, and I'm going to
Yeah.
be sitting and watching as their whole little universe ends up crashing and burning.
I mean, because Rupert Murdoch's still involved in Fox News, right?
yeah, he
Yeah.
owns. Well, he
Yeah.
owns. Yeah,
It's News Corp.
News Corp. Exactly.
Yeah.
He either owns News Corp that also ends up. I don't remember if he still owns National Geographic still. I think he still owns
Yeah,
that.
they owns National Geographic, Sky News, and the Wall
Oh, so
Street
we're going
Journal.
to see some naked pictures of Donald Trump in National Geographic.
Right, exactly. Well, there's that whole thing with, what's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?
Exactly.
Trump never played to have a garbanzo bean on him in a hotel in Russia. Um,
Oh, I love that one.
let's see, what other big things? It's been a crazy weather week, a crazy weather month in the United States. Dave, did you get
Holy
hit by
shit.
any of those floods yesterday?
Well, we're up on a hill, so we're not really worried about flooding, but the Potomac is well above its normal register. I mean, like it's
Well, I mean, they had big flooding in Montgomery County, just north of Washington, D.C.,
yep.
in various places. And
I'm very happy to be in very, very hilly Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
we're only like a quarter mile from the Potomac River, but we're up on a hill. Like there's not too much worry here. If it floods here, we're
It's
building
over.
arcs. We're building arcs.
Exactly.
We're
Did you?
pretty safe.
Yeah, we are pretty safe. Did
Mm.
you hear about there's only three people missing from the flooding down in Texas.
No.
Meaning that
I
they've
thought
recovered all the rest of the bodies.
Yeah.
They did? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I mean, it had been there. There were, like 108 people missing, and that number is now down to 3. They found 105. But it's
there
not.
was 120 are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the total number of death is
I thought it was like 135 was last I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
I mean,
and then
It's probably changed.
New Mexico had some pretty big flooding as well, right, Dave?
Yeah, so the town of Ruidoso, which is in southern New Mexico, I actually did fraternity formal there one year. Beautiful area, into the mountain gods, great place.
There's some nice skiing there.
There's a racetrack there. There's a it's a beautiful place. In fact, when we did our formal there, somebody who houses their horses in Ruidoso is one George Strait. We saw his big tour bus there, and I guess he was visiting his horses.
Maybe the horses arrive on the tour bus.
They could. I mean, there was a big ass tour bus.
Yeah.
But so last year there was massive fires in there, and
Yep.
he might have lost his horses in that one because there, a lot of horses were killed in that fire in that
Yeah.
last year, which then destroys all the
Leaves
vegetation
scars.
that would hold the
Yeah.
sides of hills and things like that. So when it starts raining viciously this year, that stuff just turns into a river of mud. And Ruidoso got hit pretty bad.
I do want to talk a little bit about.
Well, here's a concerning thing about the whole thing is that we just found out here locally, Trump's executive orders have now killed 2 of the 3 weather radio stations that serve the area. So the emergency weather stations that we have, if you've got a weather band radio, you'd be able to tune to. Our closest weather band station now is in Baltimore. We
Wow,
used to have
really?
one in Hagerstown. We used to have one in
What?
Cumberland that would serve the Eastern Panhandle. Now it's just Baltimore.
Well, I mean, and just to be clear, it's not turning off all the radio stations. It's turning off the 24/7 government weather radio.
Yeah, I mean, but that is the weather band. If you are having a weather emergency,
Right, they tell you to
or
turn
you
to
don't have to
that
sit
station.
there and listen to Megan
Yeah.
Three Stallion to get some kind of weather forecast. You've got like
Yes.
24/7.
So I do want to, briefly, since we're talk about that on the cusp, I think, of having an incredibly hot, controversial show next week, when we will be talking Israel Palestine next week, folks. So
Yeah,
that
buckle up.
popcorn that we were talking about, get it ready. But
Maybe we should get a sponsor for popcorn.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Brought to you
the
by Orville Redenbacher.
the climate change stuff. I want to be clear that I really do believe that human beings burning carbon affects the environment. You can demonstrate that in
Yes.
a lab. Uh, on the other hand, there's a lot of bullshit that's being pushed around as science that just when people talk about it's so completely ignorant that they say, oh, this is the hottest time on the Earth's planet. It's not even close.
No, it isn't even close. Is right.
Exactly. Right.
Carboniferous. The Carboniferous was like
Yeah. Right. 65
yeah.
million years ago, the planet was 35 degrees warmer. Okay. And there was a point in time where most people agree the planet was frozen solid.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There's a giant extinction during that time
Several
period.
times.
Right. And so the question becomes, if the Earth's temperature can vary that much without man, is it perhaps a anthrocentric, uh, a homo superior opinion to think, oh, we're the ones that actually have changed the Earth? Now, I do think that carbon pollution, stuff like that, they all have an effect on it. My thing about it is that I want everybody to understand the one common in the climate is that it constantly changes. And
Sure.
if the weather didn't change and the Earth's temperature didn't change, that would be more alarming than anything else.
And I'm going to throw something in here, Dan, and you may well be right. But, I point this out. Let's say to some degree or another, the 8 billion people on this planet are contributing somehow to global warming. First of all, and people always want to beat up the United States. I think the United States has made more inroads into being green without Kermit than any other country on earth. When you look at China and India and other countries, some of them are continuing to pollute at a higher rate, and we can't offset it.
Right.
Now, that being said, what do trees what do trees love? If you love trees, they love carbon. So if we're dumping carbon into the atmosphere, the trees are loving it. We should have more trees. And what do trees produce? Oxygen, just like algae. And I like to think that in a lot of ways, our wonderful world is self-sustaining. It can find its own balance. And we're going to go through these ebbs and flows.
But what if the self-sustaining part is yeeting the fuck out of humans to get them off the planet?
Yeah, but
that's what's happening. And so, like, one of the things that I am going to counter here is, like, the stuff with China and other polluters is actually a talking point that's been used a lot, but it's not actually what's happening right now. They've been having revolutions much more over than us in terms of green technology. India and China have the first thorium reactors here in the entirety of the world, and they've been using them for years now. And
does that not mean that they're still not burning coal and dumping carbon into the atmosphere at an exponential rate, let's say more than us?
They've actually decreased over the last 5 years, and that's something that it's a talking point that is actually not quite accurate anymore.
Okay.
They've cut their carbon contribution down significantly after the installation of the thorium reactors.
That's good.
We've talked about thorium reactors before, and
Yeah.
we're I think we're all very much in favor of the United States moving to more with
I'm a
thorium.
long-term investor in Lightbridge, but
Yeah.
but China is still dominantly the largest polluter in the world.
I mean,
yes, but
I'm
at the
just
same
looking
time,
at,
is that per
there's
capita
a lot
though?
of things that they are doing that is mitigating a lot of that.
per capita.
I mean, I think
Probably per capita as well. China is currently 32% of the world's carbon emissions. India is 9.5%. The United States is 14.4%. So China is more than twice as much as the United States.
Well, but they're also like 3 times the population.
I was going to say China's got like 3 billion people. We've got 500 million. Not even.
No, 330 million.
Well, and it is legitimate for the third world to say that the West built its wealth on burning carbon.
Sure.
And so for us to say, oh yeah, you guys get denied this. But it's also true, everything that I already said, China is absolutely leading the way in the manufacturing of solar panels and revolutionary technologies. Thorium, it would be interesting. I was not aware that China had brought thorium plants online.
I think they've got one, but it's a small scale one.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It is a small scale.
But still, you think about it. I think France is one who has said they want to go complete nuclear for their energy production, and that's great.
They're like 85% now.
Yeah. Now, if China
they're one of the highest.
Let's say China's only 5% of the way there.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's say over the next decade or two they get to 50. That's going to be an amazing improvement. And
there's 2 things about it, and one. And I want to come back to something, my brother, the geophysicist, made some interesting points about, the Earth definitely has phases of temperature. I would argue that it is unclear to compare this time period with anything else because there's never been another time period like it.
Well, we haven't had those time periods haven't had humans inside of them.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We haven't in terms of the output and the information and the data that we've gathered, like there is a lot of data, and I'm the data person. That's my thing.
It is clear that you can reproduce the greenhouse effect in a laboratory.
And
you can reproduce it on Venus. I mean,
we can look back millions of years and find times where the Earth was warmer than it is now, and the Earth was colder than it is now, and there were no humans. So that's something to be noted.
The question is the pitch is the degree of change, is the slope, and we're going to talk about the data, is the slope unusual?
No.
We don't know.
Well, you asked, so I gave you the answer.
Yeah. The question is that we don't know, because we don't have long-term geological reporting isn't as fine as 5 years or 20 years or anything like that, because it's just an age. But what we do know,
core samples of
it goes
ice sheets and everything.
Yeah, but I'm saying those are in periods of like hundreds of thousands of years.
It goes both ways, though. We can turn around and say we can't compare it, and now we're here. Are we the causers of this? Yeah. And then I turn around and say, if we turn around and say we're causing it, in a lot of ways, aren't we being arrogant to think we have that effect, we have that power?
Well, what we do know is that there is correlation.
Do we?
Well, for sure. I mean, the temperatures are warmer, and we're burning more carbon.
I don't know. I don't go with this relationship. I really don't.
You can say
dinosaurs, there were times it was way warmer than it is now, and we
You
weren't
can
in existence.
say, sure. You can say, I don't believe that that's the cause, but there is correlation.
I
Okay.
understand, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean the correlation is accurate.
No, it doesn't. But then, you're making me play a little devil's advocate here, Joe, and it's not the side that I'm normally on this. But we can, in a lab, prove that, if you increase greenhouse gases in the environment, that it means more of the sun's temperature gets trapped inside the earth.
Sure.
Now, the question is, and that, again, that's happened all throughout time, right? When
Mhm.
volcanoes erupted and ended snowball Earth, right? The Earth was much colder. And,
Just think of
Epstein,
Krakatoa, what? Not less than 200 years ago.
yep, the year, though that actually made it colder. And that's
Yes,
Year without
the year
summer.
year
without summer.
without a summer.
Yep. There is, and sea level has been as much as 120 meters less than what it is right now, and as
Mhm.
much as 40 meters higher than it is right now,
There you go.
throughout the sort of the history of the Earth. And in that space, our question, there are two questions. First, what should we do about it?
Can we
What
do
can
anything about
what
it?
can we do about it? Well, so that's another fascinating question, because that comes back to a lot of things. Like, people want to complain about GMO food, but you know, without
GMOs are a
GMO
miracle.
food, the world would starve. Without If we were going to go to a carbon neutral planet, America would be fine because we have the wealth. But a lot of the other places around the world would be fucked.
Well, I
Do
mean
we get to tell them to do that?
and that's I mean that's been the problem with I know a lot of the agreements and the carve outs that have been made in these agreements, like the Paris Climate Accords, is that we're expecting China and India to uh, essentially go from crawling to riding rockets,
Printing.
where we've been able to build up, and you mentioned that we've been able to build our backs on the coal industry, and then we're able to move into technology.
Right. Now,
So there is we do definitely need a time for them to build in, but let's talk about other times when we've identified problems with our atmosphere, and we've actually worked together and
fluorocarbons.
improved it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the ozone layer, the hole in the ozone layer over the southern part of the globe. Um, we banned carbons, and I'm not a big proponent of banning things, but this was not a bad thing. We ended up finding different ways to accelerate stuff out of cans, and
Yeah.
we were able and didn't use that in styrofoam as much anymore. So we've been able to or reduced our use of styrofoam,
Yeah.
and we've seen an improvement in the ozone layer. So there is evidence that if you stop doing the things that are making things bad,
Well,
then
then you get to the
you've got a
next
chance
question.
at reversing stuff.
Then you get to the next
One of my
question, which is,
friends,
the United States has reduced carbon emissions without any national policy or any high level national policy
Yes.
around that. And we did it mostly voluntarily. Now,
Yes.
certainly there are things in terms of how coal is used, stuff like that. And a lot of states have, significant laws, like California, for example. You cannot build a building that uses fossil fuels for heat anymore. No more gas, no more propane, only electric.
And
Um,
that's a shame for California.
well, I'll tell you what's interesting about it is, now that when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, it's really terrible, it's really draconian. But the fact of the matter is, you should be using a heat pump now.
You
It's
know,
better than anything else that's out
I
there.
I love heat pump. I love that whole technology of extracting that heating, that cooling. It works. But what I'm saying is, if California outlaws using
Yeah.
carbon-based energy, they're shooting themselves in the foot. What the hell do you do when the grid goes down? Those pumps aren't doing anything for you if you're using um,
It's I mean,
Well, so they
California's
they're
having
two
lived through a hurricane,
Yeah.
Having lived through a hurricane, not allowing things, especially like new builds and not having stuff like propane after a natural disaster
Yeah.
is horrible. Like
Yes.
if we didn't have those propane tanks for us during Ida, when I was down in New Orleans, or even after when I was down volunteering for Katrina, if we wouldn't have had access to that, so many more people would have died because it
Absolutely.
wasn't just there, it was all over like the North Shore and in the river parishes.
And let's
And
face it, you're nailing it here, Ari. Fossil fuels work. There's a place for them. The fact that we're just going to vilify them and criminalize them and outlaw them, again, we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Well,
There's a
I think it's
place
all
for it.
about balance. Like,
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, like Donald Trump is saying, we're going to bring coal back, and that's,
it's not
he's selling
possible.
the idea that we're going to, start sending people back down. Like these poor folks in West Virginia think that they're going to get sent back down into the coal
Well,
mines to make the big money.
I mean,
And
the
that's not
thing is,
the case anymore. They're sending machines down to dig out that stuff.
right.
Yes.
And
And
coal
let's talk
is,
about coal in power plants, the scrubbers they use today. There's so much technology that cleans coal. It's not it's not 1970 anymore, folks. It's a new age. We can use it to a large degree and benefit from it, darn it. But if we
It's not
outlaw it, we're
Centralia.
shooting ourselves in the foot.
But
yeah. I mean,
It's not
I think,
it's not Centralia.
yeah.
Like it's not like that. It's the
That's
same
rather
vilification.
extreme.
It's not, well, it's not even like the vilification of nuclear. Like if we started to be able to really invest in nuclear, because
I agree.
Pennsylvania has been absolutely wonderful for investing, like Westinghouse. Westinghouse opened a first
Yes.
short range thorium plant
Yes.
here in Pennsylvania, and it has been doing fantastically. Like
Mhm.
it lights up and does the energy for a whole entire small town, and it is a fraction of the cost.
You're nailing
And
it. You're
Right.
nailing
one
it.
of one of the things that I ended up doing when I was down in Covington, Louisiana, um, because I actually do. I think that fracking is something that we should be investing in, because fracking
Yes.
has a lot more technology nowadays, than a lot more protective
Agreed.
technology nowadays than it did in the past.
Mhm.
And a lot of environmentalists, a lot of people who consider themselves environmentalists, end up shooting themselves in the foot, because instead of focusing in on trying to be able to hold the company accountable if something happened, they completely got everything scrapped because they wanted the nuclear option.
Mhm.
They wanted only the company to stop fracking. And
And you know,
instead of having that in between, and instead of having those ways of holding companies accountable for bad actions,
mhm.
it's this quite literally scorched earth approach to, we don't want any of this.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean
I
that
think that's one of the issues.
we've seen. I mean we've seen. Yeah, that is my main concern with the modern environmentalist movement, is that they are willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater. That
Mhm.
they want only
Well,
clean, quote unquote clean
but
renewable energy, whether
wait,
it's
wait.
wind or solar or whatever,
There
and
there
they
is
want.
no there is no environmental anti-fracking movement, right? I mean, that has been proven conclusively that that was a Russian operation.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the KGB wanted to stop our production of natural gas,
Randy's
and
right.
Gee, I wonder why.
millions and billions of dollars to pump up. I mean, it was Hillary Clinton who first called them out on this. This is not a Donald Trump
Yeah.
crazy theory. The the and what you were saying about in terms of energy density, there's no question about it. Fossil fuels have so much energy density that it's always going to be better than any battery that you could bring to another spot in terms of weight and the amount of power that's in it. I have a generator that can run for 2.5 days on a 30-gallon propane tank.
And that's great. That's a great application because you can't have nuclear at home. But obviously,
Yeah,
what Ari was saying, nuclear is the way to go here. Once we
Legalize recreational plutonium.
Dave,
Thorium, recreational thorium.
once we get to, and look, even 3 Mile Island's being reopened again. You know,
Yep.
they need.
Well, I mean, it's open. It's open. It's one of the stacks is getting reopened.
Correct, but they need it because there's so much need for the energy, and that's the safest energy. And you know, guess what, folks? I lived through it. It ain't 1979 anymore. Everything's not analog. Everything's digital. Everything's redundant. Nuclear is freaking safe, and we need to implement it. We need to expand it. And this country's had a death lock on it for far too long.
And it is interesting to look at, Japan, right, where they had a recent modern nuclear meltdown, and the consequences, they weren't great, but it wasn't like people in Japan couldn't grow broccoli anymore,
right,
or something like that.
Well, they've been studying stuff at Pripyat and Chernobyl. Yeah, there's bad stuff that's happening, but like the mutagenesis of some of the local plants and what they're seeing in some of the local fauna, it's just, yeah, it's not great, but it's also been showing that the fallout event, while not great at the epicenter, some of the effects of it are not as dire as they made it out to be.
I agree with you. They have found, Chernobyl, again, that was a different type of reactor. Obviously, that's not something we would use here in the United States or throughout the world.
And the accident was mismanaged.
Its design was its downfall. But what you're saying, Ari, is really interesting. I read something recently where they have discovered a new fungus that is growing in Chernobyl that eats radioactivity at a rate far faster than the radioactivity's half-life. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's I've been really interested in that fungus, and I have a friend who's from Kiev, and like some of the stuff that she studied, particularly in mycology, has been really interesting. But like Chuck said, China has doubled their nuclear capacity in the last 15 years.
Yes.
And nuclear is our best bet. Whether or not you believe in anthropogenic climate change, the climate is changing. And as Dave has, brought up, there's the high possibility the way that the earth heals itself is to get rid of us.
Well, I mean, I do like to think, I often say that I'm a cornucopiast. I'm generally against recycling because I want us to use everything up, so we have to get off the planet faster. Because we are meant to be a spacefaring species. And so many things will be solved when we don't have to live, when all associations are voluntary, which is what they will be when we are spacefaring creatures, spacefaring species. The core of the planet, though, as we see more countries advance in nuclear power, hopefully, it'll do two things. First of all, there's an interesting sort of last mile technology argument here, right? In general, the people who implement the high-tech solution first end up being the ones who don't do it well. So as an example, the United States was very late into cell phone technology because we had the wealth to build a payphone network, right? We had the best phone system in the world. So we didn't adopt cell phones until very, very late. When we did, obviously, we built the definitive cell phone. I kind of wonder if that's where we're going to be, because one of the interesting consequences of China going nuclear is Iran is fucked. Russia is fucked, right? All these people who are consuming their oil, they're not going to be able to sell that oil anymore. And so there's an interesting speculation that if energy prices are going to drop, if fossil fuel prices are going to drop, as nuclear comes online everywhere, maybe you do want to be some of the last people burning fossil fuels because they're going to become cheaper and cheaper. Because we're better and better. Again, my brother, the geophysicist, is online. He talks about the fact that, from like 1970 till 2000, they kept talking about the end of oil. They're saying, oh, pretty soon oil's going to be done. What's going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. And now what we've discovered is we're just so good at finding oil that we can't even calculate how many fossil fuels there are in the planet.
Totally
Now,
different. Yep, absolutely.
There is an interesting thing to think about, though, that carbon is, the Earth itself is a relatively closed system, but carbon in particular is a closed system. And the amount of carbon in the Earth, let's just say, inside the atmosphere, so from way out to all the way through to the core, that's a constant. We're not making any more. We're not losing anything. The question is how much carbon is in the atmosphere, and how good are we at sequestering carbon? And there have been a lot of work done. People can look it up, using iron filings to grow algae that eat carbon and then die and sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, and not only that, but I've been reading about doing carbon sinks in forested areas that are able to handle more and more carbon, and of course that's really plant
Yeah.
food when you think about carbon
Well,
dioxide being plant food.
and it's interesting because I have to make my. I know I've said this a couple times before, but it's still just one of the most mind-blowing facts about science, right? I live in the middle of a forest, 100-foot tall trees all the way around me. They start off this big, though. How do they get that big, right? Where's the physical material coming from, right? Because it's not like there's holes in the dirt. Exactly. They are converting gaseous carbon into solid material carbon. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
every step of the way, they're producing oxygen. How wonderful for
But
us.
it is wonderful, but it is also
there is such thing as too much oxygen.
sure.
Well,
But
you're
we also
absolutely right. Too much carbon, too much oxygen. That's why I'm saying our world is somewhat self-sufficient and self-balancing. And if it wasn't, we wouldn't be here today.
Well, I mean,
it generally is, but I will say
geologically
that
speaking,
we've
geologically speaking, we weren't here yesterday.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like as a
here
species, we're
on a
really
4.6 billion year
new.
old planet.
I agree completely.
As Telly Savalas famously said, "Hair today, gone tomorrow."
This is true.
Love you, baby. Love you, baby.
And I want more trees planted. I want us to reclaim some more forested area. I think the things that we've seen in the Amazon,
not just trees. Not just trees. How about we start planting hemp farms? That's a better way to make it.
No,
Did you know?
I like hemp, but no.
Did you know,
hemp
David,
can be
there are
great,
more
but
trees.
you have to be really smart about it because it does sap nutrients from the soil.
There are more trees in North America now than there were when the Pilgrims landed.
But there's alternate parallel
I mean, we have tree farms.
Right.
You just rotate as your crops. It's like any other crop.
How good are we at rotating things? Like, how good are some farmers at
we
doing
do it all
that?
the time.
Come on.
I look at the farms locally. I look at the farms locally. One year they're growing wonderful corn for pigs. Another year they're growing alfalfa. Another year they're growing sweet corn for humans. I mean, they rotate them. I think they're right on top of this. It's basic.
I would say, yeah, actually,
if we could do GMO hemp, I would be happy.
If you watch, people want to know a little bit more about farming. Clarkson's farm has been excellent, including their planting plans and how they rotate the crops. It's pretty interesting.
That's farming 101 now.
Yes, I don't think it's going to be
Jeremy's
possible.
talking about us getting to a level 1 Kardashev scale civilization.
Well, I mean, in order to capture 100% of the sun's energy, you actually have to build a sphere around the sun.
Yeah, Dyson sphere.
Yeah, I think that I would be happy just to have broadcast power from solar capturing satellites. That would be a nice way to make things go. But I think that we are. I think we're probably 100 years away from really doing that. I mean, I don't know, but
I mean, I see your point about the spacefaring civilization, Dan. I don't know that we're gonna. I mean, I think that we'll be able to extract, like as Carl Sagan talked about, being able to extract things from passing
oh well,
asteroids and things like that.
mining the asteroids, that will probably come earlier.
Honestly,
I agree with Dan.
we would have to have uh, not I mean, an incomprehensible explosion of development for us to even get to the closest, exoplanets to us. To
Hmm.
you're talking 4 light years. We can't even conceive of getting, within a
Well,
10% of
so
the speed of light.
it's interesting you say that because I just listened to we were talking about podcasts. If you haven't listened to Star Talk, Neil deGrasse
Oh yeah,
Tyson,
Neil deGrasse Tyson and Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
fantastic, and he talked about how fast can we get to Mars? Okay, and people say, oh, it's like it's a 3-year trip, but it's actually not a 3-year trip
It's
if you
about
don't
9
want to
months.
if you don't want to come back.
Mhm.
Okay, the
Yes.
problem is that you can't accelerate 100% of the time going towards Mars.
Yeah.
Because, but if you're able to build a rocket that could accelerate 100% of the time and then drop off your little capsule and have it be captured by Mars gravity and land, you can get to Mars in about 4 months. So that's an
Yeah,
interesting thought.
depending on where the plants are. And
Yeah, you want to align it so the things are in the right place at
Yeah.
the right time, stuff like that. But it is interesting that we can build rockets. And then, there's the famous QI question, which is, okay, if we want to go, uh, let's just say to Pluto, when is the best time to leave?
Well, it
And
depends on its orbit.
well, the answer is always not right now.
this is true.
Okay.
Because what we know is that the amount of time it would take to get there, technology increases so much every 10 to 20 years that in 20 years you'll be able to build a faster rocket, and that
Yeah, it'll
will
get there
overtake the
before.
first rocket that was left.
Yeah.
So it's one of those weird paradigms. On the other hand,
Yeah, but the first rocket that goes to Pluto is going to probably be outpaced by the second rocket that ends up being sent out.
Yeah.
well,
Dan,
to be fair, Voyager did pass Pluto.
Yeah.
Dan, you're
Yes.
nailing it. My absolute favorite episode of The Twilight Zone was called The Long Morrow. It is with Robert Lansing and Mariette Hartley.
Mm.
He is launched to go to another planet, and he gets there and back, and they already know everything they need to know before he ever returns.
Yeah.
Right.
It was, when you realize that point, you realize this man has sacrificed his life.
Yeah.
And none of us want to be in that position.
So speaking of space, the other big news story of the week is the CEO of Astronomer. I don't even
Yes,
know what Astronomer does.
astronomy.
Does
They
it do
What
astronomy?
the
Like
hell
what?
they do? I have
All
no
I've seen is
idea.
the article about him getting. They went to a Coldplay concert this week, and during Coldplay concerts, they do what is called the Jumbotron song, and Chris, I can't remember what his last name is, the lead singer
The
of
main guy.
Coldplay.
Paltrow, Chris Paltrow.
No, well, that's Gwyneth Paltrow's husband. Yes,
I
but
think he took her name.
And
yeah. But the Jumbotron comes up and they focus on a few people and he strums a few lines of a song dedicated to that person there. And so at one point during the show, the camera focuses on a what seems to be a loving couple, and as soon as the camera gets on them and they realize that they're on camera, because there's always a little bit of delay between, the Jumbotron, well, the camera being on you and the Jumbotron showing it. They scurry like roaches when the light turns on.
Yes.
And so it turns out, and so people, he calls it out like, well, they must be cheating. And it's identified that the guy is the CEO of the company Astronomer, and the woman is the head of
HR
HR.
director.
Yeah, head of HR. And all hell breaks loose. And it's now, the kind of, I played up to it at the beginning of the show today.
Here's the irony. I thought about this, Dave, and had she not reacted, nothing would have happened.
Hell, if they had kissed
tight while his arms were wrapped around her boobs, nobody would have thought twice about it.
Exactly.
And it would have never been noticed.
It was the reaction.
100%. And I'll tell you that the reaction was so strong that I thought to myself, this is actually a setup. They're doing it deliberately.
Heard that.
Yeah.
Did you see the gal laughing off to the left?
I did. That was her friend. Well, because the thing is that, right, I'm pretty sure that was the friend of the head of HR. And she was divorced, right? So, you can argue she's probably going to get what she wants out of this. Maybe. I don't know if she wants to be married or not. But, she's going to, she at least have full access to,
generally relationships that are built on cheating aren't built to last.
Right.
Because it's that whole forbidden fruit. Oh, yeah. Maybe they, now that this guy's heading to a divorce, and I'm not going to feel sorry for him that he loses half of his valuation, because he's still going to be fantastically rich. I mean, he's unemployed. Exactly. He'll eventually land somewhere.
Some idiot company will hire this moron.
Generally those relationships built on the subterfuge don't last, because once it's exposed, you've eliminated that forbidden fruit aspect of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to develop the relationship on normal relationship grounds. And that's where, it may, she may be out of a job. Very hard for her to find a new corporate gig. And
it's hard to imagine her being hired as the next HR director.
When you're caught canoodling on cam with the CEO of your company, and you're HR,
right?
I mean, and I hate it. Look, I hate that. I hate that they were cheating, but I also hate, or at least that he was cheating, because he's got a wife and kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I hate that she is, because she reacted as she did, that she is going to, face the slings and arrows and possible, losing her job. I think, and it's kind of, we started the show talking about Monica Lewinsky. It's kind of that same thing. Like, she is going to be in the internet bully ring. That she is going to get bullied. He's going to get bullied to an extent, but $500 million, you're going to be
like, Andrew Byron, who was the former CEO. He issued probably the worst apology in the history of the
I'll apologize, and before I end, I think I'll blame.
No, that was not real. That was that apology that's been cycled around.
Right. The one where he says, "I wish we could still have our privacy," but he still did issue an apology that was pretty terrible. But what happened out of that is that now, that's very funny, Ken. Ken said they should have seen it coming. Oh wait, that's the astrology company. But as a result of that apology letter, he is probably now going to get hired by the Trump administration.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, Trump's would say,
well, they
terrible thing.
He's going to be head of NASA.
Right. Exactly.
Because he's so disingenuous. Of course they'll hire him.
Well, not only that, but Trump was obviously, a serial cheater. And
fits right
it changes the story. People aren't going to be talking about Epstein anymore. right? They're going to be talking about
serial cheater,
Byron.
serial rapist.
Yeah, and you know, Trump's going to say something like, you know, I talked about grabbing him by the pussy, but Andy
Grabbed him by the boobies.
Right. And to be fair, I don't think that's exactly what was happening. I didn't actually watch the video that
No,
much.
no. I mean, he just had his
Still
arms
photo,
around her. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he just had. He's not Lauren. He's not Lauren Boebert.
Okay. Right. Exactly.
Oh,
McGee.
Ari, well done.
Nancy McGee.
Well done, Ari.
Yeah. Incidentally, let me put a plug here that who's the woman who's running against Lauren Boebert? Admiral. I can't think of her name right now. I'll look it up. No, but there's a woman who's eminently qualified. Look it up.
Okay,
Lauren
that's
Boebert.
not a high bar, Dan. Versus Lauren Boebert.
No.
Eminently qualified is like
to be more qualified than Lauren Boebert is not a high bar. But the woman
you just don't
running
have to go to
against
the
her,
theater.
huh?
You just don't have to go to the theater.
No, you can go to the theater. You just can't get a hand job while you're at the theater.
Exactly.
Right.
Bingo.
Right.
Oh, I saw someone call Stephen Miller.
Ari, you're dying to comment. I know.
I saw someone call Stephen Miller Pee Wee German, and that's just
that's pretty funny.
Come on, this was perfect timing. I did wonderful. Thank you very much.
All right, so yeah, I don't have problems with coworkers dating.
No.
And you know, I know companies have certain fraternization policies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even you know, but he's a CEO and she's a head of a department. There's still a power dynamic there that's still easy.
And I'd just like to say, I know that we're covering some tough stuff here, but it is quiz time when you think about it. It is quiz time.
Yes. Hold on. Oops. I don't mean to hide you all.
We don't mind. You're the star of the show.
I am not the star of the show. I'm a star. I'm a bright, shining rock and roll star. What movie is that from?
I'm a star.
I don't know.
Boogie Nights. Dirk Diggler.
Help me out here, Ari. We need to name these movies.
So I just want to say the woman who's running against Lauren Boebert is Admiral Eileen Laulbacher. She retired 2-star admiral. She was on the National Security Council under Biden. Annapolis graduate. Just an incredibly.
How many times have they called her a DEI hire so far?
I don't know. It's a good question.
You know that's coming.
Help me, Dan. Help me here, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, what movie made a reference to Fawn Leibowitz?
Fawn Leibowitz, the woman who died in the Kilt explosion?
Yes.
Yes.
What movie?
It's Animal House.
Animal House.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. We made out Christine with the quiz.
There we go. All right, quiz. We got the Department of Health and Human Services. Looks like Beyonce. I'm not going to say I recognized her because of her boobs. I'm just saying that from
the Canadian flag.
Yeah,
but you did
Canadian flag. So those are our context clues. All right, question number 1: If Donald Trump's 30% tariffs are enacted against the European Union and Mexico, which products are expected to increase in price? All of them. Fruits and vegetables, toys and games, coffee beans, or fresh cut flowers.
Is there not all of the above?
I know.
I'm going to guess. I would guess fruits and vegetables.
Well, I would expect that from Mexico.
We import. Yeah, I was going to say we import most of them from Mexico and Canada.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I'll tell you what's interesting about that though is so when I said Freedom Fest competing in Pitch Fest. The company that we lost to, we came in 3rd place, which I'm very proud of. But the company that came in first streamlines the import process of fruits and vegetables from Mexico. You would not believe how much waste there is right now. It's unbelievable. And so,
and it's only going to get worse.
Actually, assuming this company, and what's it called, Secure Pay.
I'm guessing the company is called Juan Valdez LLC.
All right.
So Brandy says produce. I'm
I
inclined
say
to
produce
agree.
too. It just seems to make
Fresh cut
sense.
flowers also make sense if you're talking about Holland, but
Yeah.
Well, we do get
Yeah.
a lot of our, but yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Produce.
produce could see price hikes if tariffs are enacted. Prices for alcohol, medical equipment, and electronics will also rise. I mean, 30% is you're not.
Will.
No, there is no good company that is going to eat that cost. It will
Thanks,
rise
Trump.
for whatever you pay.
Thanks, President Trump. You're screwing us.
Trump. I mean, that seems to be the only thing he's good at is screwing people. So.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
I mean, his argument is that.
Although Stormy Daniels said he wasn't all that good.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you like mushrooms.
Well,
All right. Question number 2. How much will it cost to build the U.S. a new air traffic control system, according to the Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy? 3.1 million, 31.5 million, 301.5 million, or 31.5 billion.
it's 31.5 billion.
It's got to be billion.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree with Dan.
always the
Yeah.
top or the bottom. So
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna go with the top.
now that Sean Duffy has been found innocent of those sex parties, sorry, that's Sean Puffy, not Sean Duffy. Sorry.
And
Okay.
Yes, Duffy and the DOT plan to build a new air traffic control system by 2028, but only if they can get a total of $31.5 billion in funding from Congress.
It should be all AI.
I don't know about AI. I mean, AI, I think AI should help. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you can have whatever system you want, but
You
there's
got to have fail safes.
Right, exactly. But there's no question at this point in time that in general, AI now does everything better on a large scale than humans. You can say, look, there's no surgeon that's as good as the best surgeon in the world. That is
AI for
100%
president.
true. But AI has never been drunk and operated, and lots of human surgeons have done that.
Yeah. Question number 3. More than 75 former federal and state judges called on the Senate Judiciary Committee to reject the nomination of which of President Trump's former personal attorneys to a prestigious appeals court judgeship? Emil Beauvais, Rudy Giuliani, Alina Habba, or Alan Dershowitz. And I think all 4 of them are still waiting for payment from Donald Trump.
I think it's got to be Giuliani, though, right?
No,
it's not.
I don't have
I thought it was Dershowitz.
Nope.
It's got to be
Beauvais.
Habba then.
Nope,
Is it
it's Beauvais. It is Beauvais.
Okay. All right.
Go with Beauvais then.
Emil Beauvais has an egregious record of mistreating law enforcement officers, abusing power, and disregarding the law itself, the judges stated in a letter to the committee.
Oh,
So
he's perfect for Trump.
yeah, I mean, this is right on brand for Trump.
This is
Holy shit.
isn't this the guy also who was in the remake of Nosferatu?
Looks that way.
Hey,
Hey.
you are maligning that wonderful, wonderful character. Shut your pie hole.
Question number 4. Thousands of federal employees at the U.S. health agencies were laid off this week. How were they notified? Jesus Christ. In a
Email.
Zoom meeting with HR, their entry badges were deactivated, notices taped to the office doors, or by email.
Email.
I think their badges were deactivated.
I think their badges were
their modus
deactivated.
operandi.
Really?
Yeah, they don't
thought it
tell.
was-
They don't tell
what?
anybody until you start to be able to.
They
come
make
into
you go
the-
into the office, and then when you badge in, your badge doesn't work.
Hmm.
Why
Interesting.
can't I get inside this door?
Oh, Brandy says email though.
I'm
I mean-
saying
email
email
too.
still.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
don't
low
know.
blow.
I mean, most people wouldn't know if their entry badges were deactivated.
Randy's
No.
in a group of
Randy's
people.
really smart.
we've seen a lot of federal employees go to work, badge in, and their badges don't work.
Interesting.
And that's how they learn that they've been riffed. But all right, we'll do email. We'll blame all of you if it's wrong. Oh, it's correct.
Boom, shakalaka.
Hey.
Ah,
Thank
Workers
for
you,
were
once
received
they,
an
for
email
once
Monday
they, for once
afternoon.
they actually,
Randy
for once they
nailed
actually
it.
did some.
There we go.
All right.
Workers received an email Monday afternoon notifying that they were out of a job as of close of business. Oh, so you're sitting at work. I would have just got up and just walked the hell out.
Bring your laptop with you.
Yeah,
I
what
would
are they gonna do?
I would have taken a dump on the
Maybe
highest
shot up.
ranking person's
I
desk
would have
on the
said
way out.
shot up, man.
Yeah, Dave, Dave, let me point out that the Hayes Amendment prevents you from doing that as a government. Sorry.
Well, by that point, I'm no longer a government employee. So,
Oh, right. So then you could take a dump. All right.
Technicality, baby.
So then all those dumps that you've been saving in plastic bags go to work. You can now use.
How did you know? Question number 5. President Trump has threatened to revoke which celebrity's U.S. citizenship? Rosie O'Donnell, Ellen DeGeneres, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, or Meryl Streep?
It's
Rosie.
Yeah.
Because that's more important than turning over the Epstein list.
Oh, Trump is such an ass.
Yeah. Comedian and actress Rosie O'Donnell, who moved to Ireland shortly before Trump was inaugurated, says she has no regrets about leaving the United States. I don't blame her.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll say this about Rosie O'Donnell. She was a star in my favorite sports movie.
A League of Their Own.
League of Their Own. Hell yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Very good movie.
We got Brandy got that one right, and Craig did as well. Right on. Question number 6. Which of the following artificial intelligence companies recently received a $200 million Department of Defense contract after its chatbot pushed anti-Semitic tropes? OpenAI, Google.
Oh, sorry, XAI.
Anthropic or XAI?
You guys would know this better than me. I'm not going to guess.
It's
XAI. Yeah.
I think
correct. While all of the companies were awarded contracts up to $200 million each, XAI chatbot Grok recently pushed anti-Semitic tropes in response to some users' queries, including "Who's controlling the government?"
Yep. Yep. And it's going to tie into next week when talking Israel-Palestine, we reveal that Jews have been secretly controlling the government.
That's right.
The Jews are
You
tired.
heard it here first.
How? Open the doors. How?
I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave.
Nice. I like it that Dave said that.
All right. Question number 7. Where the hell is my cursor? There it is. Let's scroll down. What did an ad promoting tourism in Canada, or I'm sorry, why did an ad promoting tourism in Canada go viral? It featured a talking moose and a squirrel. It showed a Canadian hugging an American. It starred Ryan Reynolds and a talking moose. It starred Ryan Gosling and a talking squirrel.
No, it was the hug.
I'm torn between Rocky and Bullwinkle and Ryan Reynolds. I'm just not sure.
Ryan Reynolds hanging out with moose and squirrel.
It is the hug. I'm gonna.
Let me say this: it's moose and squirrel.
Moose and squirrel.
Yes.
Moose and squirrel.
All right, correct. The ad campaign showing a Canadian hugging an American tourist aims to make visitors from the U.S. feel more welcome in Canada, despite political and trade issues between the two countries. And generally, anybody who wants to travel overseas, yes, there are some places that you may not get the warmest welcomes, but generally, people love interacting with other people.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
Our governments suck.
Well, I was in southern France in 1986, and at one point in time, we were wandering around. I was in this little city called La Ciotat, and older gentleman pulled me aside. He's like, would you like to come have dinner with us at my farmhouse? And it was in 1986. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, yeah, that would be great. So we went, and I got to meet his dad. And his dad said, it's actually the scene out of I can't remember what movie now, but where the dad says, first time I ever had chocolate was when an American GI gave it to me. He's like, and so, whenever Americans come to town, is it Saving Private Ryan? I can remember Saving Private Ryan or Band of Brothers, but somewhere they have a scene like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is Saving Private Ryan. I don't know, maybe it's Band of Brothers. Anyway, whatever it is, we've squandered all that goodwill.
Yeah.
But
Oh
people
yeah. I
still
mean,
generally like Americans
I'd
and
like to say
have a system.
we have not, Dan.
No.
Trump
the
and his
government.
administration have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, and generally that is the attitude of people is that yeah, your government sucks. And if somebody says your government sucks, I mean, like, yeah,
But we
you
still
completely
love
agree.
Canada. We still love the world. We're still embarrassed by Trump, and we
Right.
need to let them know that every time.
And right. And we've lost the soft power that we had.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the soft power of that. I mean, say what you will about any waste that may have come from USAID, the stuff that
Yeah.
USAID did, uh, you know, the idea of having soft power, having a face,
Yeah.
helping people is
Right.
worth the
The
money
fact
that was.
the fact that yeah, if you
Borders
live
are
in Africa,
weird.
if you live in Africa and you make less than $1,000 a year, you have benefited from American wealth, and that was a
Sure.
great place to be.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Borders
mean
are the weirdest fucking. The borders are the weirdest freaking invention ever.
yeah.
You're right, Ari. You're right.
All right, question number 8. Which which animated character is set to appear on a new US postage stamp? Kim Possible, Danny Phantom, SpongeBob SquarePants, or Invader Zim?
I've got to vote for Kim Possible, but I have no idea.
I don't either.
I don't
I'm a
know.
stamp
I
collector,
want to
but
say
I'm not a US
SpongeBob.
stamp collector.
I think it's got to be SpongeBob SquarePants.
I hope not. I hate SpongeBob.
I
You
love
hate
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Shut your trap.
I mean,
Quiet, you.
Invader Zim would be pretty funny.
Invader Zim would be
As would
Brandy has not led us astray tonight. So
Please let it be
As would
Kim
Dick Tracy.
Possible.
I agree. Let's go SpongeBob.
let's go, SpongeBob. Correct.
Yep.
4 new forever stamps. This year,
Ari.
SpongeBob SquarePants are and the gang are from Bikini Bottom. Now, in case you missed it, the price of a stamp has gone up again. July 13th, the price of stamps ratcheted up another 5 cents a letter, I believe. So,
But
Like I remember
I couldn't remember.
when it was
What?
below 50 cents.
I think it's 70 cents now. I don't know.
Dave, what is it moved up to?
70 cents.
70.
Is it? Yeah.
You know, I would like to make this statement, if I may. I think it is freaking amazing that I can stick a
Oh
stamp
no.
on an envelope, and the next thing I know, it arrives in freaking California or Hawaii for 70 cents.
78 cents.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
78. It
deal.
went from 73 to 78 now.
Yeah.
78 cents.
I really don't
And-
care. It's still a deal. And God love the U.S. Postal Service. They're doing a great service. I know they're not the best run. I know there's a lot of bullshit going on there, but I still think it's the deal of this century.
Yeah, I mean it is relatively cheap compared to the pace services, FedEx, UPS. I mean,
Well,
and we've like
listen, this is what we know. Any business that operates without competition is giving you the worst possible deal they can get away with.
sure.
And you think of the number of kids that the Postal Service has thrown in jail for opening up competing local mail delivery services. Right? There's a kid in Galveston, 12 years old, and he was delivering letters downtown, small little town. Postal Service beat him up. I'm not. I made that up. But
Like what the fuck? I've
but-
never heard of that.
but no. I mean, there's definitely.
Dan,
Yeah, I
Dan,
know.
I'm having a hard time picturing the U.S. Postal Service being nice. I really am.
Well, they couldn't
throwing
find
it
us.
down like they do drive-bys and shit.
Exactly.
Oh,
When they say going postal, exactly.
Oh my god.
and
But,
Brandy, he, him,
We
not
are-
her.
Yeah, I do think that the postal service should, we saw what it did for package delivery. They should open up local delivery to regular competition.
And I
And
think they have.
and they should charge, to your point, Joe. Uh, it shouldn't be the same cost to send a first class letter to Nome, Alaska, as to for you to send it to Pittsburgh.
I like it though. I really do. That's the beauty of their service.
Well, I understand that
I
you
like
like
Andrew.
it.
I understand and I love the whole points made by Andrew Heaton for the posts for the USPS. I love his points on it. Like Reason
But
Magazine for the YouTube channel has a really good thing from Andrew Heaton on it, and we should just let it go.
yeah, I
Let it go.
love being able to send that letter to Pittsburgh, as you said, Dan. And I love being able to send the same letter to my favorite gals in Nome, Alaska. I mean, all I want to do is connect, and it's the same price. It's wonderful.
I mean, we're rapidly coming to an age where we're in an age where the snail mail, for lack of a better term, is not as important. And it's hit at the U.S. Postal Service, and U.S. Postal Service has got two different things going on with it. One, you've got um, people using email, you got people using other competitive services,
Yes.
maybe not so competitive prices, but competitive services to send things. Um, but then you also have um, you're also working with a massive public pension system that really hits it from both angles. So it's driving a lot of these costs. But there's also public pressure to keep the price of a
But
stamp lower. But
there's a famous story, and I've told this before, and I know we're running a little long, but uh, I stole this talk from Ken Fries. But I like to do it when I give talk to younger people, and I say, okay, everybody here in the audience who owns your own phone, raise your hand. And everybody raises their hand. I'll say, would it surprise you to know that when I was a child in America, it was illegal to own your own phone? All the phones were owned by AT&T,
yep,
and you had to lease them.
yep.
And in fact, you couldn't even have a second phone in your house, an extension, without paying AT&T for that second phone. And they used to try to catch you having more than one phone on stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what happened and what changed that was AT&T had a monopoly given to them by the government, the Kingsbury Commitment in 1911. And when they finally got rid of that monopoly in 1980, when you probably heard of the breakup of AT&T, that happened because
Break up a
AT&T said,
barbell.
yeah,
Yeah.
because AT&T said all these deals that we agreed to when we agreed to you giving us a licensed monopoly are killing us. And one of the biggest ones was AT&T agreed that they would provide the same level of service to every customer. And so that meant they could not provide a faster connection to somebody in Manhattan than they did to somebody in Peoria. And obviously, as data came online, that became an enormous deal.
And you gotta love Peoria.
Yeah,
I
but
do love Peoria.
Which one? Arizona or Illinois?
I'm talking Illinois.
But I mean, the breakup led to just explosion of
Cell phone technology,
and really all kinds of technology. But
competition is always good.
we are seeing some people being left behind. Like we see the people in rural West Virginia don't have access to really anything close to high speed internet.
Well, that
Um,
all comes down to antennas, does it not? If they don't have the right antennas in the right places, they can't receive
well, that's
signal for the
cell
or high
phones.
speed.
Well, cell phone signals, but I'm talking about like landline technology. I mean, they're kind of stuck in the not quite 56K baud era where you got the little
Yeah.
the
No, no,
telephone.
no, nobody, right. Nobody's running FiOS to
You've
them.
got mail.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I mean, they're stuck in like 2005 technology. So,
Mhm.
um, you
Don't
know,
like it? Don't live in West Virginia.
Well,
that's also it's kind of a it's a cycle though, because to be able to so much now is education online. You can't really connect to that stuff. That was one of the things we found out during COVID is that parents would have to drive to within park in the school parking lot for their kids to do classes.
Mhm.
They were setting up buses with Wi-Fi centers so that people could congregate in their vehicles with the buses so they could get
With-
internet during COVID for school.
With-
That's what people are dealing with.
With
that's
that
true.
spirit in mind, what is the next question?
Next question.
Yes.
A thief recently stole hard drives containing unreleased Beyonce music and several other items. Where did the crime take place? Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles, or Houston?
I know
No,
Beyonce is from Houston, but I think it was in LA.
I was gonna say LA.
I would think it's LA. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
she
there's
I'm
been a
gonna-
series of crimes. Brad Pitt.
Just to be the odd man out, I'll guess Chicago.
Hold on a sec. Randy said Atlanta.
You can make an argument for
Randy has
Hotlanta.
been pretty
Brandy's
on point.
good. Brandy's really good.
Randy's off.
Brandy's very good.
All right, I'm going to say that it was LA, but I'm willing to concede to Atlanta on.
Yeah,
Randy's recommendation.
let's concede to Brandy.
Correct.
All right, nice job, Randy.
Brandy's rocking it today.
Brandy, thank you. You saved
Brandy
us.
is rocking it today. Thank you, Brandy.
targeted
I think we might knock on wood. We might just have another
yeah.
clean
There
sweep.
is there is a spate of robberies going on right now with celebrities who aren't at their homes.
Yeah.
People
It
are
happened
watching.
during this week. It happened this week.
Yep.
The
Brad
All-Star
Pitt.
game.
LeBron James.
Well, LeBron James had it happen, but the Major League All-Star game, there was a guy for the Arizona Diamondbacks who's who was at Sterling Marte. He was at the All-Star game in
He
Atlanta.
used to be a Pittsburgh Pirate.
Half of the league used to be a Pittsburgh Pirate.
I don't know if you know this about
Because-
Sterling Marte. His first major league up at bat home run. Right.
Nice.
Yeah, right out of the park at the Pirates Stadium.
PNC Park.
That is a rarefied error. There's only like
Yeah.
84 people who have done that.
Yeah.
Also, if you're watching the Netflix series Quarterback, the next season is out, and Joe Burrow is featured, and it happened to him last year while
Yeah.
he was on playing Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
in
that's
Detroit.
yeah. Question number 10. Which of the following world records was recently set in Tijuana, Mexico? The world's largest Caesar salad. Insert your tossed salad joke here. Largest margarita. The most mariachi bands playing simultaneously. Or the hottest hot pepper.
Definitely not going to be the hottest hot
I
pepper.
got to go with the margarita.
I think it might be
it's
Caesar salad, but I don't know.
I think it
Margarita
might be
could
the mariachi.
Ari, help me. Ari, help me.
I don't know. I think it might be I think it's going to be the margarita.
I'm going mariachi. Randy says
no idea.
margarita. Randy says margarita.
All right, let's go with brandy and margarita. So she says,
Correct.
qualifying it. Nice job.
There we go. The world's largest
Ari!
margarita came in at a massive 34,419 liters. A liter
Ari
cola.
comes through again.
Yeah, there we go. 10 out of 10, 2 weeks in a row. We are
That's
on
us.
a roll. We got the smartest.
I
That's-
know.
you know, that is-
I'm
not
a good
that
I'm
big.
a good
Ari,
here,
if
aren't
you
I?
weren't here, it would be like
That's what
6
she
out of
said.
10.
34,000
know.
liters is essentially, right, 8,000 gallons.
Oh, yeah,
My
that looks about
swimming
it.
pool. My swimming pool
Well-
has 32,000 gallons of water in it.
But honestly,
So that's
Dan-
not
Well,
that
what are you
big of a
doing,
margarita.
Dan? Get some tequila and make that a margarita.
Exactly right.
Yes,
That's my goal.
Dan
Wow.
at your pool, Dan at your built-in swimming pool, just put ice. No, put salt all around the edge. That's all I can say.
You know, it's
Oh no. How about we get rid
it's
of
funny you say that
Yes.
because
Yes.
getting rid of ice is a good thing. I've been thinking for a while, and I actually don't have a pool anymore. I had one in Massachusetts, don't have one here, but I've been thinking about converting it over to using salt instead of chlorine to keep it free of germs. So
I
that's
don't know.
cool.
That sounds cool, but as long as you make it margaritas, we're all good.
Yeah.
All right.
Make it a big ass margarita. That'd be awesome.
So next week, guys, going to be a
It would
big
be.
show.
2 men
You're
enter,
the best.
and
Hold
2
on.
One
men
man
will
leaves.
leave because we're not blood sport. But yeah.
Exactly.
Talking about Israel and Palestine. It should be fun. Fun as in
Do we actually
lots of
want to walk
passion.
into that shit show? Do we really?
I think it's time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're at a stage where, like, I have learned to talk about it much more reasonably. Like, I mean, I have, like 3 questions I'll ask people very quickly, and I'll be able to determine if they know enough to actually talk about the issues. Just,
Sure.
basic factual stuff.
Yeah.
And I do find that most people don't know the basic facts.
I'll
And
be
so
fucking happy to scream about some shit. So
exactly. And so we'll go with it. We'll see what happens. But I hope
Yeah.
everybody will turn in. And we're doing this show as a request, right?
yeah.
Who was it who asked us? Was
Craig.
it Craig?
Craig reached out to us and asked us,
If we would
"Hey,
cover
can you
this
do a
topic.
show on Israel and Palestine?" And
So we're going to do
yeah,
it, Craig, just for you.
yeah. And if you want to hear a topic, please
Yeah.
feel free to reach out. And if you want to appear on the show, reach out.
Yeah.
We love having
Reach out, have a comment.
Yeah,
We definitely
reach out, appear on the show. You know that I'm not holding up my ends, so they need you desperately.
No, well, I was saying, people are going to be like, I can do something better than that Dave guy. So, yeah, sure.
exactly.
Take me out.
I want to be able to voluntold Heidi. I would love to have Heidi
I'd
on
love to have
here.
Heidi on here.
I would be having I would
Jeremy, you missed it. We
We
talked
did.
about
We
Colbert at the
talked about
beginning.
Colbert.
You'll have to go back and watch it.
I know
But
she was here
essentially,
at the beginning, but Heidi, if you're still listening, please, you need to come
Yeah.
onto the show. I want
Yeah.
you here. I want a fellow
There we go.
Louisianan.
But you can't. Well, you can't have too many Louisianans. But
Yeah.
But definitely
more the merrier.
Definitely work with Mardi
I
Gras.
meant unless it's Thibodeau and
I
Woodrow.
want to see it with
I like who was
Mardi
the
Gras.
my favorite Louisianan is probably Huey Long, with Britney Spears being number 2.
Huey Long. Wow.
She's pretty dope.
Yeah, I
She's
agree.
pretty dope.
Leave Brittany alone.
Emancipated Britney, free Britney.
My favorite in this contemporary age, and I think I've talked on him a few times, is the DA of New Orleans, and it's Jason Williams.
Interesting.
He has actually decriminalized
Nice.
prostitution in New Orleans. And he has decriminalized simple possession of any narcotics.
I love
of any
this
drugs.
guy. I love
Awesome.
this guy. Personal liberty.
He still has somewhat of his scandals, but it's New Orleans, and what would be New Orleans without at least a little tiny.
You need a little vice in your life.
Scandals. We'll take the scandals.
Yeah, you need a little vice.
I mean, New Orleans is the Big Easy. Laissez le bon temps pouler, right?
Oui.
Let the good times roll. It is
Oui.
that.
Oui, c'est vrai.
That is their motto for a reason.
Yep.
All right,
y'all.
Good night till
Thanks
next
everybody
week.
for joining us. We'll see you next week when we talk about Israel and Palestine.
Good night, everyone.
Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you. Night.